What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video. In this one we have, why are so many Americans moving to Poland? I didn't know that there are many Americans moving to Poland. I'm very fascinated at this title, and I need to find out why. Before we jump in, if you happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's find out what's going on in Poland.
So today we're going to talk about the surprising reasons why Americans move to Poland. One of the big reasons I think Americans like to move here is just the lack of the whole entire woke movement here. Yes, Poland is getting a lot more westernized and feminism does exist here, but it's so refreshing not having everybody introduce themselves by their gender and their sexual orientation and the whole victim Olympics kind of thing.
So I am not a female, nor am I a male. I would be in between. My pronouns are Z, Zer, Zer, Zers, and Zerself. Or you can just call me Teacher Darren.
And it's also nice being able to openly joke about stuff, right? It does feel like in the US, everybody is so sensitive about certain topics and we can't joke about anything. Everybody's always walking on eggshells. But here, with my foreigner friends and my Polish friends, it feels like we can joke about anything. People just generally don't take things too seriously because their sense of humor is actually quite dark as well. I think one of the big reasons why people move here generally,
I feel like I absolutely love that less woke culture. Woke culture has become absolutely ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. Do I agree with some things about woke culture? Yes, but for the most part, like you said, people are just getting way too sensitive. You're not able to joke about anything. There's just so much about woke culture, and it's like, I don't mind calling you anything you want to be called, like, but we're just making up so much stuff at this point. Like it's simply out of hand. It'd be super relaxing, yes, to not have to walk on eggshells with everything that you say, being able to joke around with people and nobody being offended, nobody getting overly sensitive about anything. I feel that.
Because their sense of humor is actually quite dark as well. I think one of the big reasons why people move here, generally, it's a lot safer here. Petty crimes do happen here, but it's quite rare, but you almost never have to worry about violent crime. If you look at the statistics, violent crime here in Poland is significantly lower than it is in the US. In the US, a lot of the big cities are super unsafe right now. You don't want to be walking around in the middle of the night in many big cities in the US, which to me is kind of like a second or third world country.
I was living in Philadelphia. I just love that I can walk around at night here and I'm not afraid of someone shooting me or stabbing me.
Right. Have you ever felt unsafe here? Never. Right?
No.
That's
I feel
why
very relaxed. There's all these like green spaces and I don't freak out about being like in a green space after dark, which you would anywhere else in the US. I walked home from bars at like 3 a.m. and it's fine, yeah.
I went to Vietnam, which is significantly poorer. People would say a third world country, but you have zero fear walking around at night because it's overall a lot more safe. I think that's one of the problems that the US has because we have so many different conflicting groups. The US right now has a very loose stance on crime, and the fact that guns are legal and the general population has guns leads to an overall less safe society. And I enjoy being in a place where I don't have to think about my safety at all. Quality of food here,
I can understand safety aspect 100%. I mean, it's priceless to be able to be in an environment where you feel safe, where, like she said, she's able to walk home at 3 a.m. from a bar and not have to stress about anything. She's able to go out and about and not have to worry about anything, whereas crime statistics are so low there. We're over here, it's a country that was built upon the foundation of guns here in the U.S. And so, yes, almost every American citizen has access to a gun, it seems like. And so with that many citizens having guns and that many guns out, there's going to be more violent crimes because you have weapons that can literally take people's lives at the end of the day. And then with so many different kind of conflicting groups, yes, it's just safety is not that great here compared to so many other countries.
Is much better. One of the things I love about Polish cuisine is the soups. I think the soups are all quite universally good. But if you were to compare it to other Slavic countries like Ukraine, I think Ukrainian food is just a little better because it has a little more flavor. I also like how a lot of Polish food come with like these salads. It's a lot of like coleslaws.
I'm not a fan.
Asian vegetables are still the best. Thank you. Here's what I got. It's like a pork cutlet with potatoes. All in all, I spent $36.60, which is around $9 for all of this.
For all that? Now we talking.
2 years ago, this probably would have cost maybe like 28 zlotys, so maybe like $7, but inflation has pretty much affected everywhere in the world. Even something like McDonald's or KFC. KFC in Poland has fame for being some of the best in the world, which is really interesting. Just the overall general quality of food, meats, and produce that you'll find at the supermarket is a lot less processed than what you'll find in the States.
Okay, I was gonna say because that soup wasn't. I just wasn't too big of a fan of the look of that soup. I just don't think that, and coleslaw and salads and stuff are not my cup of tea. But like he said, if the meats are of higher quality, I mostly eat a carnivore diet. Mostly, I'm eating mostly meat out of everything. And if they're of higher quality and everything, and I assume they're probably gonna be cheaper as well there. So higher quality for a lesser price, you can't beat that. That's incredible.
I think the main reason Americans move to Poland is easily the cost of living. Cost of living here is about half of what you will be paying in a lot of major cities in the U.S. for everything, for food.
A single? Did they say what?
Here's about half.
A family of 4 estimated monthly cost $2,400. Okay, this is without rent. A single person estimated monthly costs are about $740 without rent. I feel like that's about what I pay here in the U.S. But it says rent in Poland is on average 58.6% lower than in the U.S. So I need to hear the rental prices, cause outside of rent, like this is about what I would spend here in the U.S. on cost of living.
Of what you will be paying in a lot of major cities in the U.S. for everything, for food, for public transportation, for rents. Living here in Krakow, you can live a good life for under $1,000 a month. And I don't think there are many places in the U.S. where you can say that about right now. So rent in general.
Now, if you can live a good life for under $1,000 a month, yeah, I can't say that at all. But with those numbers, it kind of looked like without rent, family of 4, $2,400 a month. I was like, that's understandable. Single person about $750 a month without rent. That's understandable. But under $1,000, if you can make $1,000 and live comfortably, that's gorgeous.
General is much cheaper. The food at restaurants is not significantly cheaper, but because you're not paying tip or taxes on top of your food, the price that you see is the price that you're going to pay. That takes out an additional 30% of what you would pay in America. Food at restaurants are no longer as cheap as they once were. The prices have really gone up over the last couple of years. We're at a bar mlecze, which is a milk bar, which is essentially you can get home cooked Polish food for a lot cheaper. It's like a cafeteria style kind of thing. They have a really big menu with all this Polish food, and you can order whatever you want. And it's usually ready very quickly. This is something I like about other cultures compared to America, because the US doesn't really have cafeteria style food like this, but in Greece or in Colombia or here in Poland, there's a lot of these cafeteria style foods that you can still get.
That's really cool.
Cheap. So I got this pork chop with potatoes and the cabbage and this drink, and it costs around 32 zloty, which is around $8 US.
Oh wow!
Groceries are also significantly cheaper here. A lot of people, if you're really budgeting it, you can get by with maybe $150 a month. I personally get by with around $200 to $250 a month on groceries, but that's including snacks, ice cream, and I'm eating, I guess, more premium food. Plus, because you don't need a car here, that significantly cuts down on your expenses. Ooh. I didn't realize how much I was spending on a car until I didn't have a car anymore. Car payment plus insurance plus maintenance plus gas. Not having that expense helps a lot with cost of.
Yeah, monthly a car I'll probably spend 4, 6 gas. I'd say around $650 to $700 on just the car alone monthly. So that would be huge. That would definitely be very huge, not having to worry about those expenses.
The living. Something that I also like about Poland, and you can say this about many other countries in the world, is that they have a strong societal fabric. The thing about the US is that because there are so many different people from different cultures, the only thing that really unites us is the fact that we're American. We're constantly fighting and battling over different political beliefs on top of different cultural beliefs and what everybody thinks is right. In the US, there's this entitled mentality of it doesn't matter what you think. If I feel like I'm correct, you have to listen to what I listen to.
It's weird.
I'm disabled. I'm in a wheelchair. I have a right to go to the head of the line.
No, you do not.
Yes,
That's
I do.
crazy.
That's the law. It is the law.
It's nice living in a place where there's
crazy.
general rules and norms.
Because you are in a wheelchair, you have the right to skip everybody in line. Is wild. That's
of society. It
wild.
makes overall life a lot simpler. When men know what they have to do, when women know what they have to do, when you know how to handle yourself in public to not be a nuisance to
Yeah.
other people. I'm someone who really values order, so that's why I feel like I've been
I
able
feel
to
that.
assimilate into Polish culture quite easily. It's refreshing because in many countries in the world, people don't have that victim mentality the same way that Americans do.
I do like that society values, right? I feel like when you're built on strong societal values, it just creates, I guess, I don't want to say stronger people, but I would say a more united people. There we go. A more united people. And whereas he said here in the U.S., once again, yes, very diverse. It's a boiling pot, whatever. So many different kinds of people, but with so many different kinds of people also come so many different kinds of disagreements, so many groups going at each other, and it causes a lot of problems. At the same time, I do love diversity. I do love a boiling pot because there's so many different kind of people coming together with so many different ideas and everything. So while it does have its cons, it has pros too. Victim mentality. Hate a victim mentality, bro. Hate that.
In the world, people don't have that victim mentality the same way that Americans do. For some reason, I don't know what it is about our culture or maybe our media that likes to portray and encourage everybody to pretend to be a victim.
I feel like it's incredibly patronizing for you to paint these questions this way, especially as a white man. I don't expect you to be able to understand what people of color are actually saying. White men definitely feel like they're entitled to talk over me. They definitely feel like they're entitled to kind of minimalize my experience.
Whereas in other countries that have actually gone through hardship, like right now, the Ukrainians are going through war. Polish people have a long littered history of a lot of conflict. You will never catch them acting like a victim. For example, when I meet Africans, people rarely talk about the fact that their race will hinder them from accomplishing what they want to accomplish. And here in Poland specifically, merit and hard work are extremely valued. So it doesn't matter how you look. If you obey the rules, you assimilate to the culture, you're going to be welcome here. That's so refreshing to me because it also seems like in the US, everything is about your race or your orientation. It's no longer about merit, but what pronouns you have, you know? Also, I think
I literally, the victim mentality is just so annoying to me. Yes, maybe sometimes you are hindered by certain things, whether that be race, nationality, gender, whatever it may be. You may be hindered, but you cannot blame every single thing on these things. Everything that goes wrong in your life, you have an excuse, and the problem is never you. Issue is never you. It's always somebody else, or it's always a terrible system, or it's always this or that. Victim mentality is just annoying. Like, at the end of the day, you're responsible for you, and so whatever you got to do to figure out how to get to where you want to go, that's what you have to do. You can say point fingers saying you ain't where you, what Rocky say, you can't point fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't true. Love that speech.
Patriotism in the US is very different than patriotism in Poland. Here in Poland, for the last 100, 200 years, they've had so many conflicts against other countries, so that's really united the people and made people very proud to be Polish. I think in the US, when you say that you're proud to be an American, it comes with a lot of negative connotations, like you're racist or you're a bigot. To me, it just makes sense that a society wants to put their people first, and I feel like America, honestly, does not really do that. One of the big
I would say patriotism. Yes, I don't have a problem with patriotism at all. When I say like I'm proud to be an American, like I do love this country. Now don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of issues that this country has that needs to be worked on. But at the end of the day, I do love the US. I do love being an American, and I think there's nothing wrong with patriotism. It's that I think the negative connotations come from there's a lot of Americans out there who's I guess when you look down upon other countries when saying that, like they go to other countries, oh, I think you're so much greater in America. America's the greatest at this, the greatest at that. We're the number one country in the world. We're better than everybody else. That's where the issue comes from. Is a lot of Americans say it like as in being better than everybody else. No, like you can be proud to be like from your country. You should be proud to be from your country. That's awesome. But you have to understand you're no better or no worse than anybody else. There's a lot of incredible countries in this world full of incredible people who do things extremely well. You don't have to be the best at everything. You're an incredible country. America's an incredible country with incredible diversity. Has a lot of great things. Also has a lot of issues. But being proud of your country doesn't mean that you think that you're better than everybody else. And I think that's the problem people have with American patriotism, is our patriotism seems like it comes across as a lot of people thinking thinking that we're better than everybody else, and people who think that way, that is an issue. I don't like that.
Benefits of Europe compared to, for example, Southeast Asia or Latin America is that the English fluency here is extremely high. Most people ages 35 and below speak English. It's very easy for us to integrate into society, and you don't need to learn Polish. I learned Spanish when I was in Colombia because I personally wanted to learn, but Polish, just like Mandarin or Russian or Arabic, is one of the hardest languages in the world. So it's really nice moving to a country where you don't have to learn the local language, even though
that is awesome.
A lot. The overall lifestyle here is way healthier and way more accessible.
I feel that.
Being able to take public transportation, walk, and bike everywhere is a lot more common here in Europe than it is in the US. One of my big frustrations is that in America, you need a car to do pretty much anything in most of the major cities. Even in a place like New York that does have public transportation, the subway is a complete mess. It's not well maintained. It's dirty. There's homeless people everywhere. Whereas here in Poland, the public transportation works extremely well. Things usually arrive on time. The average European person walks way more than the average American person. And just in general, the lifestyle here is just a lot more active. Polish people are also quite sporty and fit, so it's common to see people running, doing sports like playing football, playing basketball. And that's why you don't really see obese people the same way that you do everywhere in America. It seems that the people here value time with their friends. The lifestyle reminds me of what life was like before technology. Of course, one of the main reasons that people move to Poland is because they are in a relationship with a Polish girl or man. If you're someone who's relationship oriented and are looking for a long-term partner, I think Poland is one of the best places to do it. A lot of people met Polish people from overseas and eventually moved back to Poland. Americans are seen quite favorably here. You're not going to be super high status just because you're American, but I know a lot of people who have immigrated here who have been able to date local Polish people quite easily. I highly recommend that you watch this video next. If you guys are interested in contacting me for a consultation or whatever, I'll leave my details down below. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
That was cool. Yeah, I feel like healthier lifestyle. America is a land that's built upon cars. But that's because America is a much younger land than most countries in Europe, if not all countries in Europe. And so America was built for purpose, and they were built around the automobile, whereas a lot of these countries, they were built before automobiles and all of that. And America probably was too, but they were able to adjust, I guess. They're just a lot younger. So here the infrastructure and everything was built before everything. So they're not really, these countries aren't really built for cars. Like America's built for cars. I mean, there may be places that are built for cars, but like America's built for cars, no. But I think it's awesome to be able to ride, walk, use public transportation, bike, cycle. You're not able to do that here because, yes, it literally is built for cars. Like, you don't got a car, you're stuck. You can't really walk on all these highways and all these streets and everything. They're just not made for walking. They're not made for biking. So really, I mean, you need a car as an absolute necessity. But this was a great video. I think he pointed out a lot of points, and I can understand why Americans would want to immigrate over to Poland. From what he said, it sounds absolutely incredible. But that's all we got. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. And if you happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out that next video. I'll see you guys there.